France is marking 1 year since the attack on the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. Last year, militants claiming allegiance to Al-Qaeda opened fire at the magazine's office, killing 12 people. The gunman went on the run, triggering a huge manhunt. A third militant took hostages in a kosher supermarket, killing 4 people. Plaques have been unveiled at the sites of both shootings. Hannah Hoexter is outside Charlie Hebdo's former office in Paris, and she sent this report.
I'm standing here in front of Charlie Hebdo's offices on a grey and dismal day, and the weather is fitting for the sad anniversary people are here to mark. Local residents and fans of Charlie Hebdo have been coming to leave flowers in front of the plaque that was laid out by President Hollande to commemorate those who died in the 7th of January attacks, including the editor-in-chief. Now, the new editor has decided to carry on with what Charlie Hebdo is made famous for and courted controversy with its attacks on politics and religion. But for the French people, this country is very different to how it was a year ago. France is still currently under a state of emergency, this after November's terrorist attacks. Now, President Hollande is due to address the police this day, this anniversary, by coincidence, to give them his New Year's message. But this anniversary has served to, apart from grieve for those who died in those terrorist attacks, also remind people how vulnerable they still feel here in the capital of France.
Well, for more analysis on this story, Miriam Francois-Gera joins us now from London. Miriam, freedom of expression is very much inherent in French culture, regardless of the danger it may involve. Over the last 12 months, has the Charlie Hebdo attacks changed that at all?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. You know, the concept of freedom of expression, specifically as it's understood in the French context, is one of the most restrictive in Europe. There are very stringent laws in France related to freedom of expression. Holocaust denial, for example, is prohibited by law. There are also very strict laws pertaining to the media in general. So, for example, pertaining to the private lives of people in the public eye, or more recently, under the state of emergency laws, far-reaching powers that the state has now got to close down publications, to monitor social media. So I think when we talk about freedom of expression, particularly in the French context, we're talking about a value that has become very politicized in the wake of Charlie Hebdo. But certainly there have been some very concerning developments as to whether that value is actually being upheld rather than simply politicized in order to advance perhaps the suggestion that Muslim minorities in France are causing a sort of clash, if you like, between so-called European values and this problematic minority.
I take your point and I understand what you're saying, but ultimately it was the fact that Charlie Hebdo is a very controversial magazine that led to this attack, not that anything would justify the attack. I guess my question is, has Charlie Hebdo changed its approach at all, or has it had any effect on France and their political or religious opinions being voiced publicly?
Yeah, certainly Charlie Hebdo was clearly targeted because it was a publication that had decided to, in 2012, reprint the Danish cartoons that had previously published cartoons that many people within society considered racist, Islamophobic, divisive images, including former employees like Olivier Siran, who denounced the magazine's racist turn in recent years, to use his own words. But whether or not it was targeted specifically for that reason, bearing in mind that the last time those images appeared were in 2012, the attack happening in 2015, I think it's important to remember that groups like Al-Qaeda, like Daesh, tend to use symbolic targets in order to advance their political objectives. And in this case, one of the key objectives has been to create divisions within European societies as a means of quote unquote punishing the West, which is something we're hearing in the videos released after these attacks. The motives certainly given by the attackers were very much to do with foreign policy issues. And so while Charlie Hebdo certainly was a focus because of its choice to publish certain images that were considered to be inflammatory, I think it might be overstating to consider that to be the primary objective.
Miriam Francois Gera in London, thank you.